I want you to imagine being with your children and grandchildren camping on a mountain with tropical trees and flowers on a beautiful day of sunshine and shade. Now, imagine a wildfire happening on the bottom of the mountain, approaching the top where you and your family are. It's destroying it all, and you're next because there is no way you can stop it. It's too late now. You kiss your partner and children goodbye one last time and hope the flames consume them quickly so they don't suffer. Open your eyes. Are you ready to say goodbye to Mother Nature and your family? Today I'm going to tell you that global warming caused by deforestation is a threat to human existence. As a woman born and raised in the Amazon rainforest in Brazil, the biggest tropical forest in the world, I've seen my state, Rondônia, being one of the biggest targets of forest destruction in the world. When my family and I traveled, I remember looking down from the airplane and seeing a cloud of dust above the trees from a clear-cut zone. It was an ugly brown, I can tell you. I saw with my own eyes what is happening all around the world, not only in my homeland. Global warming is real, it's happening, and it's urgent. Even if the crucial consequences of it may happen after you no longer inhabit this world, your children will. And I'm sure you, as a parent, don't want to leave them in a precarious home that can threaten their quality of life. Today first, I'm going to tell you why global warming is a national security problem. Then, I will tell you how we can solve this problem by planting more trees. Next, I will show you how the world will look like in the future if no action is taken now. And finally, I will give you a non-profit organization that you can join in order to help save the nature. At the end of my talk, I'll answer any questions that you may have, so please hold them to the end. When you look at a tree, you're looking at CO2, which is a greenhouse gas. The tree will inhale CO2 and exhale oxygen. And the heat transmitted by the sun does not fully reach Earth because it gets trapped in those gases instead. Now, when trees are cut, CO2 is released back into the atmosphere and the sun heat gets stronger. Because of that, flooding is becoming more frequent across the nation, and that is because the ice in the Antarctic is melting due to the heat, therefore rising sea levels. So people living near the oceans will be forced to move somewhere else, resources will become scarce, and competition will arise. Therefore, global warming is not only an environmental problem, but also a national security problem. According to Professor Christina Archer in the Journal of Applied Climatology, the number of days above 90 Fahrenheit may increase by 50 days per year. And also, in the California's fourth climate change assessment, 31 to 67% of all Southern California beaches may completely erode by 2100. Now, some may think global warming couldn't be a result of human activity. I mean, how could we be capable of changing the global climate? Wasn't only God conceived of such power? While you may say the climate has changed before, and this is nothing new, today's CO2 levels exceeds anything the Earth has ever seen since the appearance of humans as a species, according to Professor William Cunningham's book, Principles of Environmental Science. Now that we understand global warming is a national security problem, let's look at how we can solve this problem by planting more trees. By planting more trees, we are combating deforestation and helping remove CO2 from the atmosphere. Trees will absorb CO2 levels, which will then cool down the temperature on Earth. Now, if each person here plants a tree at least once a month per year, that's 12 trees planted per year. Northridge's population is approximately 62,000 people. That's 774,000 trees planted every single year if all citizens commit just once a month to give back to Mother Nature. According to UCLA professor Stephanie DeMarco of the Los Angeles Times, trees are one of our strongest allies in combat of climate change by reducing carbon dioxide from the air. Now, some may think deforestation is necessary for cattle ranching. However, according to Professor Jordan Herschel in the Before the Flood documentary, beef is one of the most inefficient resources on the planet, and I will show you. In the US, 47% of the land is used for food production, and of that, 70% is just to grow feed for cattle. Plus, cows produce methane, another greenhouse gas. They eat as much as they can, and while they are chewing, a whole bunch of methane is burped through their mouth into the atmosphere. Every molecule of methane is equivalent to 23 molecules of CO2, and nearly all methane in the air today is due to livestock. Is cattle ranching really necessary for the environment? Now that you know global warming, how to solve that global warming, every citizen should plant a tree once a month, let's look at how the world will look like in the future if no action is taken now. Imagine a world where we have failed to combat global warming. You wake up, and the first thing you do is put on a breathing mask to step outside. You walk to the window, and you see an overcrowded population. Then you call your partner, and you invite him or her to go take a walk with you in the Long Beach Pier, but you suddenly realize it is all underwater now. So you look back at the window. With that many people, there is nowhere really you could go. So you take out your breathing mask and you go back to bed, because at least in your dreams, you still have the power and freedom to go wherever you want. Now that you know how the world will look like in the future if no action is taken now, let's look at a non-profit organization you can join in order to help save the nature. I urge you to take action before it's too late. There are non-profit organizations out there specifically designed to help save the nature, and Amigos de los Rios is one of them. Every weekend they gather themselves to plant shrubs and native plants to preserve wildlife and restore habitat restoration. I have here for you their places and locations, so please take a look and consider joining them. Now that you know a non-profit organization you can join in order to help save the nature, let me wrap up my speech. It's important for us to be active stewards of the land in order to combat global warming. Imagine your children and grandchildren coming to your grave on the Memorial Day, asking themselves why you had the means to stop global warming, but you lacked the political will to do so. Would you like to carry that shame? Go plant a tree today with Amigos. Remember, think global, but act local. Thank you for your time, and hopefully the future generations will also have enough time to reverse these awful and devastating situations we are setting them for. Now I will answer any questions that you may have, so who has the first question?
What kind of trees would you recommend to plant?
Any really kind of trees. Amigos de los Rios, every weekend they plant, it can be cactus. So this is a cactus that we were planting here, but some days we planted like big trees, you know, every kind of tree can help. And actually, there is a Professor DeMarco, the one that I mentioned, she said that the Earth could still support 900 million additional hectares of tree cover. So there's enough space for trees. Yes?
I just read that LA has hired a new urban planner who has the vision of increasing the urban canopy in LA. So it seems like LA is on track to overcoming climate change too.
Yes, we are, but there is so much more that we can be done. For example, the Paris Agreement that they did 3 years ago, all countries in the world, they gathered themselves to combat global warming, but there were no laws specifically designed for, like, for example, carbon tax. So they just said, okay, let's do something about it, but people are doing something about it, but so much more can be done. But it's something, it's a progress. Yes?
If I don't have time to join this organization, where could I plant trees on my own time?
Where?
Yeah, like is there like, because I know if I were to plant in my neighborhood, landscapers would take the tree out. So is there approved places where I could plant a tree?
Yeah, so if you cannot go to this specific time and date, you can check on the website. They have all the locations that it's free to go if you can in your free time, that you can go and plant a tree. Yeah, so it doesn't have to be, they go every Saturday from 9 to 12. If you can't, just go whenever you can. Yeah.
Andrew Yang, who is a candidate for Democratic president, said that we've already gone too far with climate change and there's nothing that can be done. So how is any of this going to change anything? It seems like we've already missed the boat.
Yeah, so we know that most people right now in the government, they are, with all the respect of the word, kind of old. So they don't really care of the future because they're not going to be here, and they make so many profits with fossil fuels. People in the government, there is a senator that he declines the climate change in the US. He's the most decliner. And that's because he makes a lot of profits from it. And Barack Obama, he said that those people, in the Before the Flood documentary, he said that those people, they will, if they don't believe in climate change and that it's too late, reality has a way to hit them on the nose if they don't believe it's real. So there is a lot of things that can be done, but 2050 is like, if nothing changes until 2050, then it might be too late. But right now, it's not too late. Any more questions? I recommend you guys watch Before the Flood, and also Cowspiracy. And there is also another one that is called Dominion. And I'm sure your views on climate change will change after you view those documentaries. Any more questions?
For the small group of people that don't see this as a problem and don't plan on having future generations, what would be your anything to say to them to get them to get on board with this?
For people that don't see this
Yeah,
problem.
who don't either care, see it, or anything around that nature.
We can discuss that later.
Okay.
I'm really happy to talk with you about it.